One late summer afternoon at the Peterhof Palace in Russia, the last Grand Duchess of Russia was born. Alexandra Nikolaevna was born on June 18, 1901, the fourth imperial princess to be born to Tsar Nicholas and Tsarina Alexandra. Needless to say, Nicholas was disappointed when he found out his wife had delivered another female child. He now had 4 girls and no male heir. Anastasia means prison opener, or the breaker of chains, and in honor of her birth, Nicholas freed students who had been arrested for protesting the Tsar in Moscow and in St. Petersburg. Tsar's children were raised very simply. They slept on cots without pillows except when they were sick. They took cold baths in the morning and were not called by their royal names by their servants. As with all of Nicholas's children, Anastasia's education began at home when she was 8 years old. It included the French and English languages, history, geography, and the compulsory Bible chairs, also natural sciences, painting, and grammar. According to her social status, Anastasia also studied the required lessons of dance and etiquette. Anastasia was a bright yet mischievous child. As a child, she would climb trees and refuse to come down. Anastasia sometimes tripped the servants and played pranks on her tutors. An important figure in Anastasia's life was Gregory Rasputin, who was a wandering peasant and a holy man who was often called upon to advise Anastasia's mother, Alexandra. Alexandra was extremely trusting of Rasputin, and even fired one of the girls' governesses when she banned Rasputin from the nursery after he walked in on the girls in their nightgowns. Rasputin continued to exhibit questionable behavior, which led to Nicholas's expelling him from St. Petersburg for a time. Rasputin, despite being expelled, still remained in contact with the royal family until his death in 1916. On the day the war was declared, Anastasia cried her heart out. During World War I, Anastasia and her sister visited wounded soldiers in private hospitals in Tsarskoye Selo, one of their palaces. The girls played games with the patients as they were too young to become nurses like their mother. When the war started, Anastasia and her elder sister, Olga, started smoking, and they did their best to keep it a secret. Their father, Nicholas, did not approve of the habit, to put it mildly. In 1917, the war was not going well for the Russians, and the Bolshevik communists were launching a revolution against the Tsar. In February 1917, Nicholas abdicated the throne, and Anastasia and her family were placed under house arrest at the Alexandra Palace in Tsarskoye Selo. As the Bolsheviks approached, Alexander Kerensky of the Provisional Government had been moved to Tobolsk, Siberia. Life in the Tobolsk mansion was extremely monotonous and boring, and practically the only entertainments the children were offered were watching people, walking in the street from the window, and doing homework. After the Bolsheviks seized the majority of control in Russia, Anastasia and her family were moved to the Imperative House, or House of Special Purpose, in Yekaterinburg. The 4 children led a quiet life in Yekaterinburg. The only entertainments were reading out loud in the evenings, walking, and painting. On the night of July 17th, after a short dispute about the way the family was to be executed, they were woken up and asked to descend to the cellar. Until the very last moment, the family members suspected nothing. In the cellar, they were asked to sit on chairs that had been brought in, and everyone obeyed. The girls took their handbags in with them, and Anastasia even took Jimmy, her dog, along. Some believe that after the first shots were fired, Anastasia, Maria, and Tatiana were still alive. The jewels sewn into their dresses before entering Yekaterinburg had saved their lives, and the soldiers had to finish the wounded girls off by hitting them hard with bayonet caps and buttstocks. Anastasia was only 17 years old when she died. Recently, the Russian Orthodox Church in Russia canonized the Roman